Hello, Libra. So, a funny thing happened with your reading yesterday, and that is that I'd forgotten I had an oven timer on, and it kept going off at certain intervals. So, I didn't send it out last night. I was going to redo it last night, and then I lost my phone, which I happily rediscovered today by virtue of a Good Samaritan. Great story. So, I decided I was going to redo it today. But I had written down what I had done for you yesterday just to see how it would compare. And what it feels like, Libra, is that this is actually a continuation of what I started yesterday. So I'm going to combine the two because I feel like now there is a complete story that started yesterday and now it's going on. So, Lynn Walden is my name. And I am working with my Intuitive Insight Oracle cards. They are not tarot, but I'm applying them as one would for a tarot reading, a psychic reading of some kind. All right, so I always ask for what is the best for the highest good for the Libra collective, for whoever's going to be listening to this. So again, if it's not something that relates specifically to you, let it go. Don't try to make it fit. But I got the feeling yesterday that there was a lot of worry around making a choice or around choices in general in life. And that it was because there was a lot of doubt around it, because there was not a really clear idea of exactly what the right choice would be. There was a certain amount of chaos around it. Or that by making the choice you felt was right, there was, or possibly right, it could create chaos. And that it was just actually easier to stay and worry. But you were being asked to take a quantum leap of faith and really focus on whether or not you wanted to stay in the problem or whether or not you were willing to let in a solution. And to deliberately engage in a positive mindset around it, to try to look at it with new eyes rather than assess what your choice should be based on history. Like if you obviously to some degree, history is involved if we're dealing with relationships with people. But I think sometimes looking at it differently, looking at it instead as, okay, if I didn't have this history with this person, would this particular event mean the same thing to me? What if I don't assume or presume this to mean that because of what has happened? What if it is an innocent thing or doesn't carry baggage with it? Would it affect me in the same way? So that's what I was getting yesterday. Today, it's kind of like a continuation. Again, there is a sense of struggle, that it's either like this sense of giving up or surrendering. And I hesitate as I'm saying these words because the energy is a little unclear to me where you are actually at. But what I feel like you're being asked to do is whatever situation or situations you're in terms of places of restriction that you've come to, where you're feeling undecided, where you're feeling like things aren't going the way you want them to. There can be a tendency to just like kind of throw your hands up and give up, not make decisions, not take actions, or the expression throw the baby out with the bathwater comes in. But surrender isn't about that. Surrender is what I feel you're being asked to do, is surrender into a higher power, because you've got so much in this spread today about angels, about God adoring you, about love being generated from a central place that exists for everyone, that is within each of us, that it feels as though, and you're being asked, okay, calm, focus, use your intuition. But it feels to me like the whole thing is really try not to be too judgmental about yourself or other people. be really gentle with yourself. And try also to be gentle with other people. If you're feeling somehow that they have not been as virtuous as they should have been, if there are issues of betrayal, try to see it from a different light. Try to let the history go and look at it for what it actually is, as opposed to a story you might have made around it. Stay in the act of faith. Faith is really an active thing. It's moving inward. It's moving inward towards self-awareness, towards trusting our intuition, towards experiencing a sense of ourselves and life which is really beyond our personality. Sometimes people have a hard time doing that, especially if it's associated with a higher being, God, the angels, things of that nature. But most people have something that they can relate to that makes them feel that sense of the expanded nature of life, the sacredness of life, whether it is in fact nature, whether it's their love of animals, whether it's beauty of some kind, art, music. There's that quality of feeling something so much more than just the emotion you're experiencing about an event and a situation, and it's a fulfilling feeling. You're being asked to please look at that. Whatever choices you have to make, whatever issues are going on for you now, please try to focus calmly on love as something that is not just given and taken away, but that exists and radiates. That there is a benevolent force that adores you and adores everybody involved in whatever the situation is. And that you don't maybe have to rush to make any decision about anything right now, but it's important to surrender into the situation as it is, while holding a sense of faith and the intention towards higher love. Now I'm saying that, and of course I want to come in with all these, qualifiers on that, and I don't know if I should, but I'm going to say a few things that seem important. This does not mean in any way, when I say focus on a higher love, it doesn't mean putting yourself up for a doormat. It doesn't mean letting people take advantage. Likewise, it doesn't mean you lashing out because you've been hurt. This is about, or because you're disappointed, and it doesn't mean you giving up because something hasn't worked out. It means surrender into the situation as it is. Surrender means, well, I'm just going to read the card. How about if I do that? Surrender is an active state in which we remain engaged in the awareness of the situation. It's a softening into the reality as is, not resisting what is. It's allowing that it might change without being attached to the possibility that it will. Giving up is the equivalent of saying, I'm done, it's over. It takes you out of the flow of circumstance. Giving up is not neutral. There are usually some pretty strong emotions behind it, and often contains a whole lot of resistance. So the surrendering, if you can imagine it, would be the equivalent of saying, okay, this is it. I've lost my phone. That's the truth. I may have to buy another one. I may have lost all my data. Somebody may have stolen it. That would be really disappointing. And you know what? I don't know any of those things yet. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to say to my guides, and I'm going to say to St. Anthony, who's just so really good at helping me find things. I don't know yet. I'm softening into the fact that this is the way it is, and tonight I can do no more about it. So tomorrow I will look into it and see where it goes from here. That's all. And in the meantime, I'm going to remind myself that I believe in the goodness of people, that I believe in good luck, that I believe in the universe working on my behalf, and that if I find my phone again, it's a good thing. And if I didn't get to do more readings last night because I didn't have my phone to film on, maybe that was exactly the right thing too. So I'm just going to ride with it. Okay, and now I know that seems simple, and the life events you might be dealing with might be much bigger, but it's that quality of this is what it is, and I'm not going to fight it. I'm going to stay open, and I'm going to stay positive. I'm going to bring in every aspect of trust that I can, and I'm going to bring in every feeling that I have of that beauty and that magnificence of nature, of life beyond the table and chair reality we know. It might be standing on the ocean shore and watching the waves crash in. It might be loving your cat. It might be loving your human. I don't know. That's it. Stay with it. Surrender into the situation as it is. Have faith. Try to maintain a calm focus. You know that your intuition is going to be a lot more clear when you're in that state. You're being asked to embrace that sense that the universe is talking to you. Okay? That you're not in this alone, forced into a corner, having to make a choice. There are answers, there is love, there is guidance. Stay aware of higher presence, sacred nature, angels, love, God in as many ways as you can, and really, really aim to keep that frequency going on, because that's going to help you deal with any other issues that you've got to make choices around. Okay? All right, my Libras. Love you. Be back soon.